Let's talk about Allie, a woman who stepped into the spotlight with a genuine heart and a hopeful spirit. When she stepped out of that limo, it wasn't just an entrance, it was a declaration. She was glowing, radiant with anticipation and the promise of what was to come. It felt like a real-life fairy tale beginning, a chapter unfolding before our very eyes. Her smile was infectious, lighting up the room and drawing everyone in. Her eyes, they were full of hope, sparkling with the belief that true love was within reach. She truly believed she'd find love, a connection that would last a lifetime. Allie wasn't there for fame or fleeting attention. She was there for something real, a genuine and lasting relationship. That first night is always a blur of introductions and nervous energy, but Allie handled it with grace, navigating the chaos with poise and charm. She made every guy feel seen, listened, and connected, creating a space for authentic interaction. It wasn't just a show for her. This was a quest for something deeper. She wanted to know these men, to understand their hearts and their intentions. She was searching for that one spark, that undeniable connection that could ignite a lasting love. The first dates were magical, carefully curated experiences designed to foster romance. Helicopter rides soaring above breathtaking landscapes, romantic dinners bathed in the soft glow of candlelight, all the dream moments, creating the perfect backdrop for love to blossom. Allie was vulnerable and honest, unafraid to show her true self. She was letting us in on her journey, sharing her hopes, her fears, and her dreams. You could see real relationships forming, connections deepening with each passing day. It was the foundation of something special, a love story waiting to be written. It felt like this was the season, the one where everything would fall into place. This felt like the season for a perfect proposal, a moment of pure romance and commitment. This felt like the season for a happily ever after, a fairy tale ending come true. But behind the fairy tale facade, behind the carefully orchestrated dates and the romantic gestures, reality was waiting, lurking in the shadows, ready to disrupt the dream. Allie thought she had everything figured out. She had a plan, a vision for her future. She'd put her life on pause for love, stepping away from her career and her everyday life to pursue this chance at happiness. But the real world doesn't stop. It keeps spinning, moving forward relentlessly. It certainly doesn't stop for reality TV, where the lines between fantasy and truth often blur. For Allie, it was about to spin. The carefully constructed world she had built was about to crumble. It was about to spin out of control, threatening everything she had hoped for. It was threatening the dream, the promise of a perfect love story. It was a dream she was so close to catching, a dream that was now slipping through her fingers. Everything looked perfect on screen, but off camera, a storm was brewing. It started with a call from her job at Facebook. They needed her back now. The pressure was immense. Her career was on the line. Suddenly, the fantasy began to crumble. Producers weren't happy. The Bachelorette can't have outside distractions. Allie was pulled in two directions: a once-in-a-lifetime chance at love, or the career she'd built. The tension was obvious. Her smile faded, her focus shifted. How do you choose between love and your livelihood? Producers pushed her to focus on the journey, but her real life was calling. Allie was trapped, trying to be the perfect bachelorette, but also a woman with ambition. The show wanted her to be all in, but her life outside demanded attention. The cracks were widening, splitting her world in two. Something had to give. Allie was always clear. She was driven, independent, and her job at Facebook was part of her identity. She believed she could have it all, a career and love. But the show demanded total surrender, as if nothing outside the mansion mattered. Producers wanted her to choose the show, to let her job go. For Allie, that felt like giving up a piece of herself. Why should she have to choose? Why couldn't love support her ambition? The show's fantasy clashed painfully with her reality. Her journey became more than a quest for love. It was about integrity. She realized true love wouldn't ask her to sacrifice her dreams. That realization marked the beginning of the end of her Bachelorette journey. The breaking point came, a moment of intense pressure and uncertainty. With a hard ultimatum from her job, a line drawn in the sand that couldn't be ignored. The stakes were incredibly high. Return by a set date, a non-negotiable deadline looming large, or lose everything. The career she had worked so hard to build was on the line. No more negotiations. The decision was final, the door firmly closed on any compromise. The real world had caught up, its harsh realities demanding an immediate response. Allie had to choose, faced with a decision that would alter the course of her life. Immediately. There was no time to delay, No room for hesitation. She went to the producers, seeking guidance and understanding in this impossible situation, desperate for a solution, any way out of this agonizing dilemma. But the answer was simple, stark, and unforgiving. The show, with all its promises and possibilities, or the job, the foundation of her professional identity. It was framed as a test of her commitment, a measure of her dedication to the show. But for Ali, it was a trap, a carefully constructed scenario with no easy escape. She was isolated, left to grapple with this monumental decision alone, weighing a possible future with one of the men, a chance at love and companionship, against the career she'd built, the years of hard work and sacrifice that had brought her to this point. What do you choose when both options hold such significant weight? A dream of love, a fairy tale romance that could change everything, or a reality you've earned? A tangible achievement built on dedication and perseverance. This was the moment that defined her, a crossroads that would shape her future. Not the easy choices, the comfortable options that require little thought, but the impossible ones. The decisions that leave you questioning everything. Ali knew she'd lose something important. A piece of herself would be sacrificed. Either way, there was no winning, only choosing the lesser of two evils. The weight of that decision, the immense pressure bearing down on her, was crushing. It threatened to overwhelm her completely. She searched for the path, desperately seeking a way forward that would hurt the least, a way to minimize the damage and move forward, but every option was filled with heartbreak. Each choice carried its own unique pain. The clock was ticking, relentlessly counting down to the moment of truth. The moment came. Ali gathered the men, her face heavy with sadness. She explained her job's ultimatum and the impossible choice she faced. The men were shocked. This wasn't supposed to happen. She couldn't ask them to wait or continue with her heart so torn. She chose to walk away. The silence was deafening, a fairy tale shattering. Saying goodbye was gut-wrenching, especially to those she'd truly connected with. Tears flowed. This was real pain, not just TV drama. She was leaving behind a dream, a future she'd imagined. Every goodbye was another heartbreak. Leaving the mansion was one of the hardest things she'd ever done. As she drove away, she was just a woman with a broken heart, returning to a world of deadlines. It felt like the wrong choice, and the only choice. In the moment, it looked like a tragedy, a heartbreaking turn of events that no one saw coming. The cameras captured the raw emotion, the palpable disappointment hanging in the air. A failed season, a dream seemingly shattered before everyone's eyes. It felt like all the hopes and expectations had come crashing down. But Ali's decision, though initially shocking, was one of the bravest ever seen on the show. It was a testament to her strength and unwavering self-belief. She chose herself above the allure of fame and the promise of romance. Her career, her independence, the things that truly defined her and gave her purpose. She refused to sacrifice who she was, her ambitions, her values, for the possibility of love, a love that might have required her to compromise her very essence. That wasn't failure, not by a long shot. It was strength, a powerful declaration of self-worth and a refusal to settle. Her journey taught us all a valuable lesson: know your value and never compromise it for anyone. True love won't ask you to shrink yourself, to dim your light. The right person will make room for your dreams, celebrate your ambitions, and support you every step of the way. Ali's exit wasn't the end of her love story, not at all. It was the start of self-love, the most important love story of all. Her struggle resonated with so many women across the nation, facing similar choices, torn between love and their own aspirations. She showed it's okay to put yourself first, to prioritize your own happiness and well-being. In the end, she found love and success, a fulfilling life, on her own terms, without compromising her values or sacrificing her dreams. By staying true to herself, by honoring her own needs and desires, she attracted the life she wanted, a life filled with love, joy, and purpose. Her dramatic exit wasn't the end, it was a pivotal moment. It was the moment she took control of her own narrative, rewriting her story on her own terms. And that's a lesson more valuable, more enduring than any final rose, any fleeting moment of reality TV fame. Goodbye for now.